毎晩作戦開始まで90分です。準備を。
了解。私が好きなのは白い機体なのに。
つまりモーターは油圧式じゃなくて油圧式で、なので使っている数は電動の。
And Akio is still trying to explain the fundamentals of Gun Build 2 to ongoers. But right now, let's see what's happening on Twippo. Going on TV after this. Well, you've already been on TV. Construction has finally come to an end. Depending on the weather on March 2nd, it looks like we can launch a rocket for the first time in 5 years. Here's hoping, Kenichiro. Nothing in the C and nothing in this D. Akio's been incoherent on the mic for a while now. She keeps messing up what she's supposed to say. That energy she had from the first day is long gone. The fact that Mizune is coming here today has completely put her on edge.
モータはどんなものを使っているの？
モーターは
Nope. Almost let it slip. I heard the input a command to make the Model 2 turn on the spot. Akio notices the noise and stops talking. She looks over at me with a blank expression on her face. She doesn't even seem to have realized what she was saying. I shake my head at her in silence and she comes to her senses.
企業秘密です。
That's just big. That's an even bigger giveaway, Akio. Good grief, what's a handful? What a handful. Since Akio is busy working the mic, I'm stuck using the laser gun and operating Model 2 at the same time. Michi only came on the first day, so he's been MIA. Of course he is. I really hope he's properly handling our lodging issue. I'm not hopeful about that, unfortunately. Mr. Candy shows up daily, but all he ever does is watch the robot with a satisfied look for about an hour before taking off, as he does. So aside from the opening day, it's basically just me and Akio running the booth and Model 2, all by ourselves. Command inputs require both hands. The laser transmission gun also requires both hands to properly aim. It's impossible to do both at the same time. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, I've had to use special commands over everything else. Yeah, even Kaito can't do the impossible. Once I input one of those commands, the robot moves by itself for about 30 seconds. I only input a command when Akio gives the order, otherwise I'm holding up the transmission gun. I've never had to work this much in my life, until now, Kaito. Given there's nobody else here to do it, I have little say in the matter.
では最後にスーパーコンボを見てもらってパフォーマンスは終わりです。頑張れる。やっちゃえ。
Whoa. Normally she'd explain over the mic that gun barrel would be transitioning from a Gekisai Daiichi to a blast of spirit. Did she even forget about all that? This Mizune stuff must have really messed her up. Unfortunately. Whatever, I'll just do as I'm told. I input the Gekisai Daiichi command, immediately pick up the transmission gun from the table next to me and fire. Once Geki Daiichi is about to end, I put down the transmission gun and input the next command. When the combo ends, Akio will thank the audience for coming, or at least she's supposed to, but she doesn't seem to be doing it. She's not going to be here just yet, Akio. At least not yet. She's looking around restlessly. What's she doing? Come on, keep it together. Yeah, I don't think Misaki is going to be entering via the front door, Akio. Just call it intuition. It's when I'm about to warn her. I noticed that it's not just Akio who's so restless. Everyone in the audience is whispering a single name. big game of telephone. Misaki Sonomiya has arrived. The rumor propagates like a wave and spreads out among the throngs of people, and it's having a negative effect on Akiho. Before long, the whole audience starts moving simultaneously. Not just the audience in front of our booths, but the guests at all the other booths are all heading in the same direction. There's little doubt they're headed for the Exco booth. Everyone's going to see me today. What should I do? Should we go too? But after my experience with the Sea of Flesh on the first day, I'm a bit wary. Understandable. Akiho, however, sets the mic down only to start sprinting in the complete opposite direction of the crowd. What is she thinking?
アキちゃん
ちょっと行ってくる。
行くってどこへ
関係者エリア。お姉ちゃん、そこから出入りするはず。
Oh, I get it. She's trying to catch Misane before she goes to the Exco booth. Clever girl. But I wonder. I shut down the power after having Model 2 crouch down and quickly follow after Akiho. Eyewitnesses in the staff area say they saw Misane in the corridor. The staff area corridor is off limit to normal visitors, so there's nobody inside. Considering the only thing that separates it and tens of thousands of people is a single wall, the corridor itself is silent, eerily so. However, that proves convenient for us, because we can get around. We're able to spot Misane from afar. Ah, though I was wrong. She did go by the front entrance, or an entrance. There's only one other person other than us in here. That's right. She's right there. She has a sense of elegance to her even in the way she walks. Her back is perfectly straight, like she's filled with limitless confidence. There's no way me or Akiho would ever mistake her for anyone else. Nothing has changed since we last saw her on Tanegashima 7 years ago. Actually, quite a bit has changed in those 7 years.
ミサレ
So she ended up wearing a white bodysuit after all. Huh. I yell out to her right after Akiho. After hearing our voices, she slowly turns around. Yes, indeed. It is Misaki Sonomiya. In the flesh. Not an illusion, not a projection, but the genuine article herself. Misane is dressed in a tight white suit intended for use with an HUG. It's the very same one she wears in the Exco commercials. The suit clearly exposes her natural curves. I gotta admit it's kinda sexy. Yeah, good thing you're monologuing in your head there, Kaito. The way she was walking down the corridor, helmet under her arm, looks like it could have been from a movie scene, rehearsed a dozen times over. We finally meet again. After so long, after all this time. It's been 7 long years since the day we said our goodbyes at the Tanegashima airport. The only contact I've had with her since then is when she called me last summer. And now that very same Mizune is standing right in front of me, the same one that never returned to Tanegashima. Akio can't quite believe it either. Akio hasn't spoken to her in 7 years. I'm sure this reunion is especially important to her. I figured she'd immediately run over and tackle Mizune. But Akio does nothing. Maybe she's nervous. There's no maybe about it, Kaito. And since the two of us ran the whole way here, we're both out of breath. Given our seizures, neither of us can do much in the way of heavy exercise. The both of us stop in front of Mizune, breathing heavily. The whole time she just looks at us. She doesn't say a word. All three of us are just looking at each other in silence. Very disquieting reunion, if I say so myself. Akio is the first one to break the silence. Akio is clearly very emotional right now. She's looking at Mizune in absolute wonder and glee, her eyes tearing up. No, she does.
一応毎年お正月にお父さんとお母さんとうちが写った写真お姉ちゃんに送ってるもんね。でも最後に会ったの7年前でしょ。あの時はまだ小学生でちんちくりんだったから。ねえ、うちどう？見違えた？お姉ちゃんみたく胸とかあんまり成長してないんだけどね。
ハキちゃん、俺がいること忘れてない？
Akio is clearly overwhelmed, but yeah, 7 years of waiting, just gushing out.
あ、いや、ぶっちゃけすぎちゃったかな。
The conversation ends there. Mizune still hasn't said a word. She's been quietly listening to Akio talk with a kind-looking smile on her face. She doesn't try to say anything. Her eyes are glued to Akio. It appears as though she's giving her full attention. Why isn't she saying anything? And why is she acting like I don't exist? She won't even make eye contact with me. What am I, chopped liver? This is mean even for her. This Is this her sadistic idea of a reunion, or is he just messing with me? I hate this. Yeah. I'm too old to let her get the best of me like that. But then again, this reunion wasn't going to unfold quite that easily. Fine, I'll talk to her then.
ミサネ、
アキ、
She spoke for the first time. I just happened to speak at the same time that Mizune says Akiho's name. Damn it, what awful timing. Or deliberate timing. Fine, I guess I'll shut up for now.
大きくなったわね。
That brief comment is enough to wash away all the uncertainty from Akiho's face and put a smile in its place.
あのね、お姉ちゃんに話したいこといっぱいあるんだよ。
7 years worth of stuff.
いっぱいあるけど、あるんだけど、何よりもまず一番に伝えたいことがあって、お姉ちゃんが作ったロボ部がね、ここまで来たの。万博っていう世界最高の舞台にたどり着いたの。
Well, not unscathed, I'm sorry to say.
直前でロボ部自体はなくなっちゃったけど、
Yeah.
うちらが出展したロボはお姉ちゃんが設計した頑張れるじゃないけど、それでもね、中種ロボブイズムはずっとちゃんと受け継がれてる。
Quite a few, yeah, road bumps and detours along the way, but we made it. Hmm.
お姉ちゃんが島を出た7年前から今ここにいるうちとカイの代までちゃんと受け継がれてるから。うちとカイとロボ部の歴代の部員のみんなと他にもいろんな人の協力があってここまで運んできたから。だからねえお姉ちゃん、うちらのロボット少しでもいいから見ていってくれると嬉しいな。
アキ、
Again, with that straightforward monotone.
父さんと母さんは元気？
お父さんなんか久々のロケット打ち上げが決まってすごく張り切ってるよ。
Getting impatient. Could Akiho hurry and wrap it up already? I think you're the one who needs to call his jets for the time being here, Kaito. With Mizune right in front of me, I'm overflowing with things I want to say. It feels like I'm drowning in these feelings and won't be able to say anything. Even so, there's one thing I have to absolutely have to tell her. Just one thing I have to tell her, no matter what.
ミサネ、
I half forcefully buttoned the conversation. A reunion between Tsunomiya sisters.
俺水香さんから伝言を預かってるんだ。
My voice feels hoarse. throbbing deep inside of my chest. I still haven't managed to get over it. No, it's not something I should get over. Mizune doesn't even attempt to look at me. Kind of an odd reversal of things. After all, avoiding Akiho for the entirety of 7 years, and now giving her full attention. I'm worried that she doesn't even see me.
水香さんがミサ姉に会ったら伝えてくれって、亡くなる直前にこう言ったんだ。ハグをプレゼントしてくれてありがとう。そのおかげで事故前と変わらない生活を送れたから感謝してるって。
I know I'm not reading the room. I know this isn't the right time. We've been waiting for this moment for years. And now I'm talking about depressing stuff and making things awkward for everyone. Yeah, I'm sorry, Akiho. But I have to get this out while I can. There are still other things besides.
ミサ姉、俺さ、目の前にいたのに水香さんのこと。
アキ、
Mizune abruptly interrupts me. Mizune still has that smile on her face. I'm confused.
進路は決まったの？
The answer to that question is, I would say not yet, but it seems, yeah, this is very disconcerting. Misaki is behaving like, the gap in the last 7 years is nothing at all. Wait, what? What's going on? What is Mizune saying? Did she ignore me? I think she did. My brain refuses to comprehend it. Why did she just ignore me? It's not that I really care, it just surprised me more than anything. Maybe she's just on edge because she has a demonstration coming up. But those were Mizuka-san's final words. That's the one thing I didn't want her to ignore. There's no way Mizune would ever ignore her. Mizuka-san was her best friend. She would never do that. And yet, right now, Misaki is focused solely on Akiho. Has she changed that much? Very much so, Kaito. Very much so. All the chunks of info I've gathered up until now, all my delusions, they all start to billow up to the surface.
お姉ちゃん。
なあミサ姉、水香さんの最後の言葉だけはちゃんと聞いてくれよ。
I say to her, accept Mizuka-san's words.
なんでこっちを見てくれないわけ？
Kaito now, being impatient.
ミサネ！
見つけたぞ。
Suddenly a man's voice echoes in the corridor. Before we realize it, a man standing a few feet away from us starts pointing a handgun in our direction.
あれって銃？
あいつ
Yeah, Kaito recognizes this man. It's Sawada. I remember that man's face. I saw him with Mizune on the news before. I think he's Mizune's boss.
沢田君。
Sawada. Toshiyuki Sawada. And he's pointing a gun at us. A man connected to the Tavistock Institute. Seeing how he's pointing a gun at us, he must be trying to erase us. I glance at Mizune to check her expression, but she's not even looking at him. And not just Sawada, she isn't even looking at me or even Akiho anymore. Something screwy about this. Her gaze is fixed in another direction, and despite the situation, she still has that calm smile on her face. How is she so calm and collected right now? There are a number of theories swirling around in my head, none of them good. Is she okay with me or Akiho getting killed? Or is she in on all this?
動くな。手を上げろ。
カイ、お姉ちゃん。
Sawada holds the gun with both hands and carefully moves towards us. It feels like our reality has suddenly disappeared. Just moments ago we were celebrating our reunion with Mizune. But were we really? But now my heart is falling to pieces. In the distance, I can faintly hear the hosts of various booths explaining their robots. The hustle and bustle of people swirls together to form a cheerful background noise. It's like another world over there. Am I really still in the expo center?
手を上げろと言っている。
Akiho looks like she's about to cry when she raises her hands. I bite on my lip and do as I'm told. We're in a real situation. The fact that this guy is Mizune's boss means, well, means my delusions aren't delusions, they're reality. All the things I'd heard up until now.
もしこれ以上関わるなら、カイ、あなたはきっと後悔することになる。何にせよ、ヤシオ先輩は今かなりまずい立場にいる気がする。
マスターは殺されました。
この世界はあんたらが思っている以上に醜くて汚い。
Their words echo in the back of my mind. Was this what Mizuka-san's warning meant? Is this what she meant by ignorance is bliss? How Ko Kimijima was murdered. How Frau's mother was murdered. How important people around the world, and even Mizuka-san, are being killed by out-of-control HUGs. Has this all been because of Mizune and her allies? If that's true, we still have a number of threads that need unraveling. If that's really the case, I can't.
まさか君が彼らとつながっていたとは。まんまと出し抜かれたよ。
I want to tear up my hair. What exactly is he talking about? Who's he saying that to? It can't be Akiho. She doesn't know anything about the conspiracy. I never told her. In that case, Sawada's talking to me, the one who spread the Kimijima reports around the world. But I don't understand a single bit of what he's saying.
何を企んでいる？君の本当の狙いは何だ？答えろ、瀬宮。
え？
Sonomiya. Not me. There's no way he means Akiho. The only other person here with the name Sonomiya is...
アキ
I jump. It felt like my heart was about to come flying out of my mouth. Either this could be a very elaborate and interesting staged ploy to get us to trust him, or Sawada might not actually be as involved with the Tavistock Institute and the Committee of 300 as I thought. It really is a situation. Is he pretending to be friendly towards us in order to draw information about what we know about them? Or, do we take his words at face value? Is he actually against the plot? Mizune's been completely silent since Sawada showed up, until now. And she's still smiling. She still wears that welcoming smile, despite a gun being pointed at us. She stands totally calm.
お姉ちゃん。
The situation is beyond
ロ
bizarre.
ケットの打ち上げはまだ？
ミサネ、何言ってんだよ。
I don't think that's actually Misaki. Not at all. I can't help myself. I don't understand any of this at all. It's like Mizune is a totally different person. Maybe this is a totally different person. The Mizune I loved and respected is no longer there. Maybe because she was never here to begin with. The right stuff inside of her is gone. Brainwashing or something else? I wonder. I don't know if my words reached her, but the smile nonetheless vanishes from her face. She turns and faces Sawada silently.
動くなと言ったはずだ。動けば撃つ。
やめて。
Sawada's gaze and gun are pointed straight at Mizune. Not me, not Akiho. Mizune. Shouldn't he be pointing the gun at me? Under normal circumstances, maybe. I'm the one who leaked the reports. The inside of my head is a mess. Both Mizune and the committee and this man are from the Committee of 300. They're comrades. That's what we thought. That's what we were led to believe. But now everything's been turned up in the air with Sawada's current actions. So why? Mizune bends her lips slightly.
聞いてる
Head in hand. The same password used by Koki Mijiro. Those words. Mizune takes a single step towards the man. She makes no sound. Her movement is inhuman. Without any preparation, she just bursts into a sprint.
動くなと。
And he shoots. She's dead. Mizune is dead. She took that bullet straight on. And yet... maybe that bodysuit is bulletproof? Or perhaps... Mizune slips by Sawada as if nothing happened.
バカな。当たったはず。
Did he miss? No, he hit her straight on, just like he said. Is that even possible at point-blank range, and with such firm aim? There isn't a single drop of blood on the floor. Is she okay? Wait a second. How can Mizune run like that without making a sound?
セルミア、止まれ。
It's then that Akiho does something unexpected. She grabs onto Sawada's arm as he tries to shoot Mizune in the back.
離せ。バカ。
God damn it. I instinctively leap in as well. Without thinking, I tackle Sawada from behind. Knocked down, the gun falls from Sawada's hands. He tries to pick it back up, but I yank his leg from behind. He pulls me down, gets on top of me and starts punching me. I cover my face with both arms and kick Sawada in the chest. I've got some distance. Without delay, I pick up the gun. I'm thinking we're making a big mistake here, Kaito. I don't know how to use it, but I hold it with both hands and point it at Sawada. Still on his hands and knees, he looks up at me, frustrated. I glance around at my surroundings. There's no sign of Mizune anymore. She's disappeared. Akiho entered the passage leading into the expo arena, chasing after her.
一体何がどうなってるんだよ。セルミアを止めろ。うるさい、動くな。
What dear. The moment I hear it, my hairs stand on end.
カゴメカゴメ
Yes, indeed. And the fact that Sawada was trying to stop Misaki, if that is indeed the actual Misaki Tsunomiya, which I'm actually doubting very much right now. Yeah, he's not a pawn of the committee, nor is he a player. He was trying to stop them. It's just like back then. It's the same nursery rhyme that played with Mizuka-san's when Mizuka-san's HUG went berserk.
このままだと君島レポートの通りになるぞ。
Hate to say it, Kaito, but we done goofed. We done goofed. What in the hell is going on? Everything that happened in Tanegashima, everything happening here in Odaiba, it's starting to connect. I have a terrible feeling about this. But with Sawada glaring at me, I can't move. Akiho, Mizane. Yeah, we have problems. We have serious problems. I think we've just made things a hell of a lot worse. I can hear Kagome in the expo arena. People in the audience look down at their Pokécons, wondering what's going on. But I have no time for that. Yeah, we made a false assumption, ladies and gentlemen, and that has come to bite us in the arse. Sawada was not our enemy. How can I describe what I just saw? Wearing a tight white bodysuit, just like the ones a robot pilot would wear. Big Sis makes an incredible leap. The moment she exits out into the expo arena, we're with Akio now. It's a leap far beyond human capabilities. Funny that, even wearing an exoskeleton suit like that, even a human couldn't actually make that much of a leap without suffering limitations. She probably travels around 5 meters. She glides through the air, flying toward the crowded Exco booth. I chase after her through the aisles, trying desperately crying out for her to wait inside my head. But it's too difficult to move forward with all these people. The aisles are filled with people. Some are just standing there wondering what's going on after seeing Big Sis fly overhead. Well, it's not as bad as opening day. The place is still jam-packed. That was probably the intention all along. I run and run and run. I bump into people, I fall over, I get up again. The cycle repeats over and over again. I can't reach her. I can't catch up. Just when I thought I'd finally caught up with her, just when I thought I'd finally stood shoulder to shoulder with her, she slips away again. She flies past me. I reach out but can't touch her, not even close. My lungs burn. I can't catch my breath. I shout out, but my voice is drowned out by the thunderous applause. I crash into a large robot man and fall onto my backside. He asks if I'm okay and offers me a hand, but I shove him aside and look up. There's a large monitor attached to the venue ceiling. The reporter who interviewed me earlier is on screen. She's filming at the Exoskeleton Company booth. On screen I see big fists swoop down. An angel. Hardly. A word appeared in the back of my mind. I can't hear her voice. But I can tell the reporter is excited. The audience mistakes her fantastical appearance as part of the demonstration, greeting her with thunderous applause. However, she looks at nobody. She just leaps into the spider-like HUD. Bixie slips into what appears to be the control module of the robot. Even through the big screen, I can tell that Sumeragi has been activated. Its giant dark body begins to stir. Now we truly have problems. The spider jolts away. Each of its sharp 6 legs begin to wriggle on their own. I can hear massive cheers even from where I'm standing. Exoskeleton Company HUG test pilot. That's her official title, her real position. She only started doing PR work after she gained attention as a test pilot. So having her pilot a concept model like this, and at a huge venue like the Expo, it's a scenario pulled straight from a dream. People's excitement is at its peak. Sumeragi's guttural noises can't be heard over the cheering of the crowd, and cheering won't last. However, as far as I can tell through the giant monitor, it's both fast and fluid in how it moves. In my head, I always pictured 6-legged robots as being bulky and slow. Guess my prejudice was unfounded. It's the least of our worries. It skitters along the floor just like a spider would. Sumeragi smoothly crawls across the booth. It soon raises one of its legs up high. After extending upward, it easily reaches a length of at least 6 to 7 meters. Then immediately afterwards, the leg forcefully whips downward. It tears right through the booth's partition. This thing is crazy strong. Very much so. Those partitions are made of extremely solid resin. Yet it tore through it like paper. The entire venue stirs, then falls into total silence. But only for a moment. Screams immediately follow and panic ensues. Not unexpected. A wave of people rush to get away from Sumeragi. People fall over each other, causing more screams and angry shouts. The cameraman shooting the footage must have been knocked down. The screen only shows the legs of the people fleeing. From amid the throngs of screaming people, things that resemble missiles fly into the air. Resemble nothing. Those are actual missiles. That thing is armed. Sumeragi's poison fangs spew smoke as they pierce through the air at terrifying speed. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we definitely have a Metal Gear on our hands. They collide with the torso of the Kaito Company's giant robot. Achilles Zemo. Really? Achilles? A bit of an unfortunate name there. Yeah, whole Achilles heel. Scarlet fumes rise from them. The shockwaves blast through the inside of the expo arena. Booth walls and people blown over. Pamphlets rain down from the sky like snow. Did Big Sis shoot those? Those missiles come from Sumeragi. That means it's loaded with live ammunition, and it's fully operational too. But why? This is the expo arena, not a battlefield. Why would it be loaded with live rounds? Can we say Committee of 300? Oh wait, you don't know that yet. No way. Was this the plan from the very beginning? I'm afraid it was, Akiho Sonomiya. This was the plan all along. Is this another Berserk HEG incident like the one that killed Mizuka-san? Or was this all a planned attack by Big Sis? I don't know, and I refuse to accept either option as a possibility. Regardless, nobody can stop Sumeragi now that it's moving. All of the people are scrambling to escape the venue. Robots on display have been left behind, abandoned. Not that they can stand up to Sumeragi. The only robot moving in the building is that giant black spider. It crawls along its 6 legs, knocking down booth walls and tables one after another. The defenseless robots are having their legs swept from under them before getting smashed by the spider's sharp legs. Talk about decimating the competition. But if only this were that simple. A missile pod emerges from its torso and unleashes a barrage of guided missiles with a thunderous roar. This is a massacre, plain and simple. The best giant robots from around the world are being slaughtered in a one-sided massacre in a feast of bloodshed and madness. With no way to fight back, these incredibly cool, adorable, amazing robots are being mercilessly reduced to scrap. Stand frozen in place as I hold my head. Another one bites the dust. This time it's the Renault Company's giant robot. They get caught in the evil clutches of the giant spider and are subsequently murdered. Yeah, interrupting Sawada was a bad move on our part. Why is this happening? My sister would never do this. I know she wouldn't. But for now I have to stop this spider. If I don't, the other robots won't make it out alive. I run to the Tanegashima Robotics Club booth. Most of the people are flooding to the exits to escape, so our booth is totally deserted. It's then where the missile soars overhead. It collides with the expo arena wall and explodes. The entire building shakes violently. You know, we want to rescue Gumville too, but personal safety is also a factor here, Akiho. I can't help but stagger and crouch down on the spot. The roof collapses, causing dust to burst into the air. Yeah. Sanity is hardly a word. I cry out to her. Wiping away my tears, I run toward Gunbuild 2. Despite the chaos, our robot is still crouched down. He's not hurt. Nothing's broken. I look around for any sign of Kai, but it looks like we got separated in all the chaos. He's still holding down Sawada. I take out my Pokemon. I also have the kill balance system installed. You're not as skilled at it with as Kaito is.
カツクツ起動 I have control!
I turn on the power, awkwardly input a command, and watch as Gunbuild 2 stands up. I have no idea of how long the battery is going to last without somebody else to use the transmission gun. Oh Jesus. It's impossible to operate and transmit power at the same time. Without constant power from the laser beam, he'll stop moving after 3 minutes. Despite that, is it not a moment to lose right now?
他のロボットたちを助けなきゃお姉ちゃんを止めるの
That is a
お
tall
願い
order.
カツクツうちに力を貸して
He has no way of fighting. He wasn't designed for combat. His performance is nothing compared to the spider's abilities. But I'm the only one here who can do this. I feel eyes on my back. I can also hear the sound of a low-frequency engine. It sends a chill down my spine. I turn around. It's on the move. My vision is blocked by the booth wall. But I can feel this spider wriggling around behind it. I glance at my Pokecom screen in order to see Gunbuild 2's point of view. There it is. Sumeragi, a big sis on board, is approaching the booth wall. I brace myself. The spider's talon-like leg comes tearing through the booth wall. Its form is revealed through the opening it made in the wall. I'm scared. Is she chasing after me? Is Big Sis trying to kill me? Why? Why would she do this? My legs tremble and I nearly crumple to the floor. I'm so scared that I'm in tears. Yeah, things are looking pretty bad. No, you can't back down now. Fight. You have to protect the other robots. You have to fight and stop that spider no matter what. Dealing with Sumeragi is easier said than done. I take a step back and begin to input a command into my Pokecom. Advance. Advance. Advance, advance. Gunbuild 2 approaches the spider. He has the advantage in height. Spider is fairly short, so I doubt a punch from Gekisai Daiichi will connect. But I have no other means of attack. I don't care if it's just for show. As long as it stops Big Sis, as long as it stops that spider.
撃砕第一
Inputting the command is difficult. Nervousness and panic make my fingers shake. I can't get it right. It's like my fingers aren't my own. Sweat from my brow drips into my eyes. I can't help but close them in pain. Before I know it, I'm trembling. That's what terror feels like. It's then that the spider makes its move. It slowly raises its body. Supported by 4 of its legs, it lifts up the other 2 like a praying mantis. To make matters worse, the legs have what appears to be sharp blades installed inside of them. They have a faint gold glow to them. Gunbill 2 stands frozen still within the range of those terrifying blades. I feel a dull pain run deep inside of my chest. It feels like an icy hand is crushing my heart. It squeezes tightly. This is the sign of an attack. But I don't have the time to be worried about that right now. I have to do it. I have to get the command right. If I don't, Model 2 can't move. I know all of that, and yet the inside of my head is a complete blank. All I can do is hold the Pokemon like an idiot.
それはロボ部の魂がこもったロボットなの。
He's filled with the hopes and dreams of the Robotics Club, the club that Big Sis founded. He carries what I entrusted to him, my dream of wanting to catch up to my sister with all my heart, even if it means letting all of Tanegashima fall to pieces, and that's why.
お姉ちゃん、やめて
The spiders, the blades flash. They cut through Gunbill 2's torso from both sides like a pair of scissors. And like that, it's over. Gunbill 2's upper body shakes and leans forward. It makes a terrible sound, like iron being bent and twisted, but far worse than what happened on the old airport. His body then falls over onto the spider. The impact crushes the spider onto the ground before stopping. Big Sis.
お姉ち
I rush over to the spider. I slip between its legs and crawl onto the torso. Somewhere, there must be a switch or something to open the pilot hatch somewhere. It's not long before I find what I'm looking for. I press the button and the hatch slides open, accompanied by the sound of compressed air leaking out. Inside is a unique standing cockpit. But even though I know I saw her climb inside, Big Sis is nowhere to be found. She had disappeared without a trace, as if she were never here to begin with. Ominous.
アキさん
Very ominous indeed. Well, Once again, we have mysteries on top of mysteries, but that will have to wait until the next episode. So when we return, adventurers, we need to unravel just what the hell is going on here. As always, until next we meet.